You've been busy. Hello and welcome to Healthline3. I'm Terri Simmons. Today we're talking with Dr. Jaya McSharma, Medical Director of Shed It Weight Loss Center, and Irina Haskada, and CEO of Shed It. We'll be talking about overall health and well-being and the resources available to you through Shed It Weight Loss Center. And they'll be taking your calls throughout the show. So as a reminder, please make sure you're in a quiet room with your TV turned down all the way before making your call. The number is 318-219-4569. Be sure to call us and get answers to your health and wellness questions by speaking directly with these wonderful, lovely ladies. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us. We're excited.
So great to be here. So we were talking during the break earlier, during midday, about, Irina, tell us what really drove you to create this center and what was the driving force behind it?
I really wanted our community to become healthier. That was last year around the time when semaglutide, the GLP-1, surfaced. And we saw that this would be a great opportunity to add this in our clinic and offer it to our patients here in our community. And it has been groundbreaking, really.
It really has. And the timing was really amazing. I mean,
we got lucky.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely good timing. Very. Yeah. I call it a wise business decision.
Yes, that's right.
So, and for people who don't know, what you were talking about is the medication that's in the news called all kinds of different things, semaglutide and everything. So this is what we're talking about. And we're going to be talking about that today because there have been a lot of changes, a lot of news, a lot of things going on with this, all these medications and the weight loss and the wonderful desired healthy effects that this has had on everybody.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about that, but that's what really was. So Dr. Jaya, what makes Shed It different than other places?
Well, we're owned by Irina Haskada. That's one thing.
That's me.
But no, really, it's a woman-owned, women-run clinic. I think already that sets us apart from most places. Even though everybody has their own health struggles, women are uniquely primed to be self-conscious and think that they have to look a certain way in order to be of value to society, right? And so having a female owner, a female doctor, a female PA, executive assistant, receptionist, and medical assistant, I feel like the relatability is what sets us apart from other clinics. So it's not just you go to the doctor, and as we've said before, your doctor's like, your blood pressure's high, you need to go lose some weight. When you come to our clinic, we know it's not that easy. We know it's not just like you make a decision and then all of a sudden you lose 10 pounds. You go through life, you survive traumas, hopefully you thrive after them. There's menopause, there's hormonal changes, there's pregnancy, there's childbirth. So I feel like us going through those things on a personal level, being transparent with our journey, even from the top all the way down, everyone shares their journey very transparently. And I hope, and I think it's true, that our patients feel like we're really in the fight for wellness with them. Not at them, if that makes sense.
And that we inspire them.
Yes.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. I think not to, not at, but with. Because
absolutely.
we talk a lot about just taking the shame and the blame out of anytime you're not at what society says is a desirable weight.
Right.
And you said it really so clearly right there about sometimes we put our value and our worth on what we feel in society on our weight. And it's right up there with women. And now we're going to talk about this too because men and adolescents, this is for everyone.
Yes.
But really going with a little bit further with what women specifically go through because, you have that value whether it's your age, discrimination, whether you choose to be single and have a child, if you decide not to be, sometimes there's that judgment.
Absolutely.
There's all kinds of things. So weight falls right in there with it. And then this is someplace they can go to help with. The other things that just age is nothing you can do about that. You're going to be getting older. There's decisions.
With any luck.
Right. So the alternative is not.
Right.
So and then there's nothing to explain. So that's a plus.
Yeah.
But but this you're here to say this is so much more than weight management. This center is all about at least one area in your life where you can come and you can get some understanding.
Yes.
You can learn acceptance of yourself and acceptance of where you're going.
Which is the most important part for your journey.
Yes.
It really is.
It's accepting where you are, right?
Exactly.
And then just letting yourself go where you want to go. Because it is a general thing. You come in and there's general tests, of course. There's the general medications that we're all reading about, we're going to talk about.
Right.
But it still is when we sit down and talk to you or a patient comes in, even if they bring family members, it's an individual, shut the door.
Oh yes.
Talk to me what you want to do. Not to get thin and fit or whatever. Let's get to your desired weight. Is that the goal?
Oh yeah. I mean, eating is for a lot of people an emotional thing.
Yes.
And people eat for different reasons. Like some people eat when they're happy, some people eat when they're anxious, some people eat when they're sad. And I can relate to that very well because I'm a stress eater.
Yes.
I crave sugar when I'm stressed, and we need to understand where does it come from, and this is where we dig in and help.
Yeah, and what's one of the ways that you address that from a psychological or emotional when you sit down and talk about it? If someone they say, I'm a stress eater, I go to sugar, I know while I'm going to it, while I'm unwrapping it, while I'm eating it, it's to feed the stress.
Yes.
What do you initially say to someone who comes to you with that?
Well, first of all, that this is absolutely okay, and it's normal to some extent because a lot of people struggle with that, and then we address it. Like there is specific medications that, and Jaya probably can explain it better than me, that like attach to your brain receptors and like undermine the
and
appetite,
help disrupt those pathways that we've learned, you know, which I'm guilty. I mean, the other day I needed my 3-year-old to do something, and I'm like, okay, if you do this, you can have M&Ms. So right there, I'm like, well, I'm going to have to undo that later. But in the moment, it worked. So we have several pathways, whether by nature versus nurture. It's all of it. Commercials, magazines, teachers, all the people in our lives. Many people have developed an emotional relationship to eating as a coping mechanism. And so a lot of these medications are so game-changing because they put a stop to that.
Yes.
They teach you how to eat for feeling well, not just tasting good.
And I love the word disruption because that's really what it's all about.
Yes.
It's disrupting that. And a lot of the methods that we use, you've brought hypnotherapy on here before.
Yes.
We've talked about EFT tapping. It is disrupting the habit.
That's right.
And just steering it in another way to a desired outcome for what you want. And I love that you brought up the example of, you know, with your child and saying, okay, we all done, okay, how about some M&Ms?
Yeah.
We do it. I love that you do that because I think it's time for us to not blame. You know, there's someone that look back and go, well, I'm very overweight because I remember when I was 3 years old, my mom gave me an M&M, and that just set the pace.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that because we've all been there, but it's like you're here to say that can be disrupted and undone.
Yes.
It's okay that happened.
Yes.
That's all we had at certain times was trying to
look forward.
Yes.
Look
You
forward.
look forward, and that can be undone, and there was nothing wrong with that then. You know, you do what you've got to do in the moment.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that created a habit that can't be undone.
Right.
That served you then. It's not serving you now, or you'd be at the desired place where you are, right?
Exactly.
Can we hire you for the clinic?
Absolutely.
She needs to come do some motivational speaking.
I'm giving my notes.
Yeah.
If I can still do Healthline3, we'll do that.
Yeah.
So yes, I think that's what we always come around to, these wonderful nuggets.
That's right.
And that's all we need to hold on to. So we've referenced and we've hinted about these medications.
Yes.
Let's talk about that, Dr. Jaya.
Yeah, so we really did want to come on here and address together the semaglutide availability. I'm not sure how much anyone watching may know, but you may have seen stories. So semaglutide has also been called, or is also called, Ozempic and Wegovy. These were the initial disruptors in this weight management industry that has really changed the game. However, due to things completely out of our hand and politics and regulations that I can't begin to understand, currently there is a ban on any Louisiana-based pharmacy either compounding semaglutide or any other pharmacy in the country shipping semaglutide to any clinic in Louisiana. And Irina may be able to speak more on the whys and hows of that, but ultimately the point is that we have a backup plan at our clinic, not just a backup plan, but we still have a bevy, a store of tirzepatide, which is the generic for Mounjaro. And so we did want to address, yes, you can no longer get semaglutide in Louisiana at any clinic in the entire state. The only way to get it is through the pharmacy. And unfortunately, if you don't have insurance coverage willing to pay for it, then it's upwards of $2,000 a month to pay for out of pocket. And the whole reason that we were offering the compounded option was to have a more affordable option to get the weight loss started, to get the health started in our community. In a year or two, this is all going to be affordable, we hope, for everyone.
That's what we
But
hope.
the important thing to know is that SHEDIT does still have the GLP-1 medications in stock. We've just had to pivot to Mounjaro instead of Wegovy, but the results that we're having are still phenomenal, if not better.
Oh yeah, they're amazing.
They're
the
really
lady
amazing.
that lost 23 pounds the first month.
Results not typical, but yes, we did have a patient who lost 23 pounds in her first month on the tirzepatide. So we're very hopeful that we can achieve the same results or better with this alternative medication. And just to let anyone out there know who may be freaking out, oh my gosh, I missed my chance to get semaglutide. We've got more options than just semaglutide. And again, we can always tailor it to what will work for you.
Okay, and let's talk about how it's done. How is it administered? It's injections.
Yes.
Is it once a week, or how does this happen if someone came to get on the program?
Yeah, do you want to, or you want me to?
I mean, you're the medical
Yeah,
director.
that's true. Maybe I'll take that one.
Yeah, my background is not in healthcare.
That's true.
Okay, we'll get the business stuff
make
from
sure.
you.
Yes,
Okay.
she's the businesswoman. So it's a once weekly injection. It's administered subcutaneously, which means underneath the skin into the fat. And that's not a derogatory term. Adipose are fat cells, and that's where we want it to go. So a lot of times people choose the arm, the stomach, the thigh. You can choose at our clinic where you'd like for it to be administered. So when you come see us, let's say you're like, yes, I'm ready. I want to do the weekly injections. I'm ready to restore my metabolism, and as a side effect, also get to a healthy weight. You will actually receive your first shot in the clinic, administered by our medical assistant, Jaleesa Williams, and then you will take home 3 shots and keep them in the fridge and give them to yourself on the same day every week. So when you come see us, you get a full 4 weeks worth of medicine, and you check in with us every month. The price of your consult includes a visit with me, the MD, or with our PA, Michelle Doolittle, plus a nutritional consultation, plus a body scan every single month. So that was really Irina's idea, to build a wellness all-around availability, not just here's your medication, thanks for your money, goodbye. It's much more well-rounded and tailored than that.
And it's very thorough. It's blood pressure, weight. It's not
Yes.
just, you check in with her. It's very thorough. Sit down, shut the door. Let's talk about how you're feeling.
That's right.
On it, because you adjust it. Will you adjust it to how someone's feeling? Are there side effects that you pay attention to? Or?
Yeah, I mean, the top 2 side effects of these medications are nausea and fatigue, and we say that straight off the bat, so that if you do have those side effects, they should always occur in the first 24 to 48 hours after the injection. But we've also figured out ways to kind of preempt those things. So if you drink enough water, and if you take a good fiber supplement every day, all my patients know this, like, are you pooping? Are you pooping every day? I mean, they always get asked, but if you can drink enough water and have a good fiber supplement, a lot of those side effects will never even happen. And so it's not just receiving the medication, it's us counseling you on how best to take the medication and maximize your benefits while on it. And I really do think that's what sets us apart, because we've been doing it from the beginning, since last July, I think. And a lot of places are offering the medication, but they may not have the time, bandwidth, or resources to tell you how to take it. And that's where we come in.
And we are also in for the long run.
That's right.
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
Not
'cause let's
just,
talk about that. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
send them
it's
on
like,
the way.
okay, look, bye, thanks.
Later.
Yeah, here's it. Don't forget to take a shot.
Right.
Yes, and also it seems like there's a lot of education there, like telling you why the fiber, what the fiber holds on to, what the water does, how the water and the fiber works together, right?
Absolutely, yes. And so, I mean, just so, as with anyone, when you understand why you're doing something, then you're more likely to do it. I mean, everyone wants to see the needle move on the scale. That's the most important part for a lot of people when they first come in. But that's why we always ask, what's your goal? How do you want to feel? Sometimes it's a number on a scale. Sometimes it's a size of an outfit, a dress, a pant size. But a lot of times it's, I just want to feel better. I look in the mirror and I don't recognize myself. And what's the #1 sentence we hear all the time? This is the heaviest I've ever been
in my life.
in my life. And I don't know how I got here. And I'm ready for help, right?
Yeah.
Which
Exactly.
goes back to exactly why you created this center, because it sounds like people, if someone walks in and says, this is the heaviest I've ever been, most uncomfortable, it can be kind of helpless.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of things to be going through. And that's why you created this, because you want to help your community.
Exactly.
So is that the kind of people that you wanted to help?
Exactly, because I mean, I've also been the heaviest I've ever been in my life at some point, and that was after my second boy was born.
Let's talk about it.
And by all means, I was not like big, but I did not feel like myself anymore. And I wanted to get back to that. And it was difficult. It was basically impossible. And in my case, I've always had a good diet and a good workout regimen, but it just didn't work anymore. Of course, also, stress. A husband who is a physician who works a lot. 2 little boys, very active, they keep me busy. A house that is always a mess. And then, of course, working. And I needed to find a balance. And I actually used our lipotropic injections. That is our lean and sexy shots. And with like more water intake, better nutrition, and really keeping up my workout routine, it worked for me.
Yeah. Do you hear that a lot too? I don't understand. I'm eating well. I exercise.
It's hormonal changes.
I don't get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm so glad that Arena's here, because I'll just say it. I would look at Arena and be like, "What are you talking about?"
I hear this all the time.
Like, you're not,
Yes.
and we don't want to do that either.
No.
We don't want to look at someone who's naturally on the thinner side or has a smaller frame and assume that she doesn't have her own struggle.
Exactly.
And we're very different. Our bodies are built different. We're mentally built different. I mean, we are going to have our own comedy show, I think, at some point, the German and the Indian. But I love how transparent she is about, like, after 2 kids, I didn't feel like myself because other people could not understand that about her. And so I really feel like her being transparent and opening a clinic where we are hearing you. You're saying you don't feel like yourself. We hear that no matter what other people may assume about you.
Right. We hear you and we accept it. Let's go.
That's right.
We have Lizzie on the line for you. Hi, Lizzie. Thanks for calling. What's your question?
I'm calling trying to see, is this like a program?
If it's what we offer as a program.
Yeah.
Yeah, so primarily we are a medication-assisted weight loss clinic. So that is the crux of what we offer. So it is a program in terms of you do meet with a medical provider every month. You have a nutritionist on board. You have a monthly body scan that really gives you much more detail than a scale might about the changes, the positive changes that are occurring. But we are primarily a medication-assisted weight loss clinic. And if you need other services outside our clinic, whether it's therapy, meal prep, a fitness regimen, or even a trainer, we have partners in the community that we can refer you to so that you get everything that you need for your wellness journey.
Okay. Do you all check with the insurance to see, do they accept you all, or is that something that we would do?
So when it comes to the visit itself, we do not accept insurance. It's a fee for service. But when it comes to your medication, we can definitely help with that. If the medication that we select for you is something that would be approved by your insurance, we do that all the time. Yeah, especially when it comes to these newer medications. If there's a chance it could be covered by your insurance, we will always try for that first.
Yes.
Because we don't want you to have to pay out of pocket anything that you don't have to. So yes, ma'am, we always check with insurance with regards to your prescription.
Okay, so what is the amount that you pay to get into the program with you all?
So the initial visit is $149. That includes the visit with either Dr. Jaya or our PA Michelle. The visit with a nutritionist, where you can actually talk about your own nutrition questions or your nutrition goals, and our Fit 3D body scanner. And then depending on what medication you use, it's either included in the price. It's maybe a sum of $50 if you opt for an oral medication, or it would be $5.99, which is like the $149 for the initial visit would be applied to that for tirzepatide, which is the Mounjaro, the generic Mounjaro, the injection.
Okay, and where are you all located?
Great question.
We are in Bossier City on 2211 Shed Road, Suite B, the purple door.
The purple door, that's very important.
It is important.
Okay then. So you are there Monday through Friday?
Yes, ma'am. We are open Monday through Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay. All righty then. You have answered my question.
Well, thank you so much for calling.
Thank you, Lizzie. And you can find out all this information as well at shedit.com. So you can just go to your computer or phone and type in shedit.com, and all the information is there, including pricing. We're completely transparent about that.
Okay. All right then.
Thank you. I hope we get to meet you.
Yeah, good luck, Lizzie. Thank you so much for calling. Lizzie even sounded happier by the end of the phone call. She was always laughing. It just
I love
feels
the name
good.
Lizzie.
I do
It's so
too.
cute. Yeah.
It feels good just even knowing there's an option. And I think it feels good to be able to talk to you and ask what can I do with absolute no judgment, no shame, no blame, nothing.
We
and
are
I love
a judgment-free zone.
Completely. And it's just all encouragement. It really is. And just come on in. Welcome. What can we do? Let's get started.
Yeah.
And it does feel like a together thing when you're talking. It sounds like even talking to Lizzie, we'll be right there with you the whole way.
Yeah.
This is not just you. You're not alone anymore.
We hold your hand.
We hold your hand. I know that's the biggest thing you can do for someone in anything. I think it's just hold a hand. And it feels like that with this. So are there any, we talked about pricing a little bit. Are there any specials that you're running right now for anything?
We are. We're running the Lean and Sexy
beach special?
Beach special, that's what it was. Like, we're trying to get everyone beach ready. Although, what did I say to somebody at the clinic yesterday? There's only 2 steps to having a bikini body. 1, buy a bikini. 2, put it on your body.
That's right.
That's actually all it takes to have a bikini body. But if you would like some shaping and sculpting to get that toned look that Irina was talking about, it really works best with people who are good water drinkers and doing some sort of resistance training, even if it's a 20-minute Pilates class per week. Those are the people who get the best results. But anyone who wants to kind of shape and get rid of extra fat around lean muscle can come in for our Lean and Sexy package. So that shot by itself is usually $70, but Irina has made it to where if you buy a series of 4, you can get it for $200, which is $80 off. And the people who see the results, they really do see it from doing a series of 4, like 1 every week. Because that's when you can really see the before and after, a big difference. And so we designed the package so that you get the best results.
Yeah. So that's where it hurts completely. Just making people healthier, helping them, giving them resources, and make it affordable, as affordable as possible. Because I think that's another thing that people run into, and they're afraid to put that on themselves, like spend the money on themselves. If you have a family, if you have bills to pay, it's really hard to convince yourself to spend that money on yourself, and we're kind of bust that myth.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just take care of yourself. It's worth it.
Yeah, especially, I hate to keep harping on women, but women don't want to spend money on themselves because, I know gender dynamics are shifting in society, but what am I thinking about? Stereotypically, or what's that word I'm thinking of? That means usually. I'll just say usually.
Okay, usually.
Usually, a lot of times women and families set themselves up as the nurturer, the caretaker. So let me take care of everyone else before I even think about spending a minute or a cent on myself. And I'll have women come in and say, I know this is what I need, but also my daughter's in college, and how am I going to not, help pay for her textbooks if I can? And then I always say, would your daughter rather you help her with her textbook that, she probably doesn't even need anymore because everything's online? Or would she rather that you're happy and healthy for when she gets married and has kids down the road, or whatever is going to happen? I think when you sit down and think of it, there's nothing more that your family wants for you than for you to be healthy and happy as you get older so that you can be with them longer. There's no replacement for time with your loved ones.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to help people understand about investing in themselves.
And funny, it always seems to work out.
Exactly.
It really does.
Exactly.
It works out.
It does work out.
Yeah,
That's right.
All right, we have Michelle on the line. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for calling. What's your question?
Yes, ma'am. I was just wondering, how does the medicine actually work with your body? And does it drop your blood sugar, or how does that metabolize with your body? How does it actually work? And you say you only take it once a week. How does that work to actually make your body, work to cause it to actually burn the fat or to make you lose weight? I guess I'm trying to understand how that makes you.
Yeah, great question.
How does the medication work to do something that you're not already doing, I suppose?
Great question.
That is a great question. So these GLP-1 agonists, so this is this whole family of medications. If you hear Wegovy, Ozempic, semaglutide, Mounjaro, tirzepatide, Saxenda, liraglutide, Victoza. Wow.
It's like a pretty song.
But yeah, I know, right? So the way they work, essentially, there's no stimulant in them. There's no controlled substance. There's nothing that might increase your heart rate or give you that jittery feeling like a lot of people did with the fen craze back in the 90s, or even Adipex or phentermine. So the way these medications work is in 2 ways. The first way is that it actually slows down how quickly food and drink are processed by your gut. So it's actually going to sit in your stomach a little bit longer before it moves on through to the next thing. And what that does is allow your body to take its time stabilizing your blood sugar. So instead, in the past, if I would eat a donut, then my body would have to produce a whole bunch of insulin to get that blood sugar down because I just ate pure sugar, right? With this medication, it only processes a little bit of the donut at a time, so you get a steady state of insulin, which stabilizes your insulin levels, which makes your metabolism not have to work as hard, which means overall you're restoring how effective your metabolism can be. The second part of it is that it actually works on an area of your brain that tells you, hey, you've already eaten enough today, so you have this early feeling of feeling full. So what we found is that people have automatic portion control. So before, where I could eat a whole gluten-free pizza from Domino's or Poppin' Pizza
Not
in
to
a
be
sitting.
exact,
But
Maybe.
now, after one piece, it's like I really am satisfied, and you can make the healthier choice to go for a salad or a protein shake because it's almost like your cravings are gone. The emotional component, the part of your brain that says, oh, we'll be happy if we have cheese and pasta and carbs and things like that, you just become less interested in food. So all of that leads to your body just working better. Overall, you're eating less, you're definitely drinking more water, and then because of that, you're actually able to shed the weight, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Michelle?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions about that?
No, other than that price.
Yes, so yeah, the price
I
is
think that's
$5.99 per month, which I know is a chunk of change. It is the lowest that we can offer at this time because of how expensive the medicine is for us to get. So it does offer a savings of over 66% compared to the pharmacy, but we are also about to roll out more affordable packages where you can actually combine our favorite oral medication with a low dose of the tirzepatide, still get the same benefits, but not have to pay $5.99 per month. So Michelle, we will be publishing that on our social media and our website probably in the next 7 days. And so if $5.99 per month is too much for your budget to be able to get for weight management, we're going to have a more affordable option that still allows you to get the benefits but isn't as expensive. So please
Basically
be
the
on
best of both worlds.
best of both worlds, exactly, because we realize there is a need in between a
Yeah.
$200 visit and a $600 visit, that there needs to be an in-between option, and so that's what we're working on right now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for calling. That was a great question.
Yeah.
Got to get everything in there that I'm sure people watching want to know the most. So
Right.
what does it really do?
What does
How
it
much does
do?
it cost? What are the options? And I think you've really laid that out for us because there are all kinds of options.
There are, yeah.
We've kind of touched on all of them today, but really go to the website, really give you a call, come in, spend that $149, I think it was, just for the consultation
That's
and at
right.
least talk to you and see what's going on because it's so individualized.
Yeah, and she asked a great question there too, that even though these were initially developed as diabetic drugs, they do not put you in a low blood sugar situation. So even if you're not diabetic and you're taking the medication specifically for weight loss, it is still safe to take.
Right.
It's just that they discovered these while trying to help people with diabetes.
Which
you know.
happens a lot in medicine. We
Yes.
talked a lot about this. Something that's treated for something else happens to be working for this, so
That's
they just
right.
go ahead and use it for this.
Just like
And
Latisse was designed to help people with ocular problems, and they found out it makes your lashes grow. And
absolutely.
That's all she wrote.
And that's right. So we're using it for this now.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly,
So, yeah.
exactly.
It really isn't. Okay, so we have a very quick. I just want to touch on what are the ages that you treat really quickly. From what age to what age?
Yeah.
Of course, we treat adults, but we can also treat adolescents ages 12 to 17 with liraglutide.
Okay, great.
Semaglutide is approved too, but obviously we cannot get it in Louisiana anymore.
Anymore, yeah. So
The problem with the liraglutide, however, is it's a daily injection.
okay.
Yes.
All right, but you do starting addressing adolescent.
Yeah, so ages 12 and up, essentially.
Yeah.
If you're between the ages of 12 and 17, you will actually see me because I'm a family medicine trained doctor. And so we want to make sure you're being treated by the appropriate provider, and we will work with your pediatrician. So it's going to be an entire care team on the same page for
And the
you.
parents, of course.
Oh yeah, and the parents. Can't leave the parents out. So the parents, the pediatrician, we're all going to be on board with the same plan because, as we know, adolescent and childhood obesity is an epidemic that we would also like to help. So if you want details on that, just give us a call.
Once again, covering all the bases and caring and listening and making it very individual. And it is safe for someone with high blood pressure and diabetes. Want to get that in before we say goodbye.
Yes, very
Yes.
important.
All right.
We can help anybody.
Yeah, anybody, come to us. Ladies, this has been absolutely wonderful again. We could talk all day, you know, Jay.
Yes,
We
we are.
never like to say goodbye.
I know.
Thanks again. And thank you everyone for watching Healthline 3. We'll see you next time.